Yeah. So thank you for joining us today, and you're very welcome to Maynooth University, our postgraduate open days. Thank you for joining us and bearing with us with these initial conversations while we get going. Before I introduce our speakers and say a few words about the programs at their particular departments, I just want to say to you that if you have any specific particular questions about an individual subject area or a particular program, if you use the Q&A function, the chat function, and if you pop your questions in there, my colleagues will be able to look at the question and then answer them for you. We also have a live Q&A starting very shortly as well. If you feel like that you have a question that you will only think about after this webinar is ended, there's no trouble there. You could either join us at that live Q&A and ask your questions there, or if you contact a particular department, we will be able to resolve your query then. So without further ado, I will introduce our first speaker and ask Maya to say us a few words about the education department and the programs there. Maya, over to you.
Hi, thank you so much, Susanna. Delighted to be here. So my name is Maya Salokangas. I'm from the Department of Education. I'm associate professor there, and I coordinate the Master of Education program. So we have a number of postgraduate programs on offer, actually, in the Department of Education. 3 of which we still have back open for application, some that have already closed for this year. So just to go through briefly, name each program and so on, I'm very happy to take questions then after. So we offer MEd in Education, Master of Education, which is open for applications. And it's a modular program with 90 credits in total, and students can choose from a wide range of 10 credit modules. Modules are offered in areas of educational leadership, teacher education, social justice, early childhood education, and well-being. And this indeed, the teaching takes place in the evenings and weekends mostly. We also offer summer school and Easter school options. Closing date for applications is 31st of May. And yeah, I suppose that's kind of everything in nutshell. Oh yeah, the MEd can also be, it can be, there's a full-time option that takes 1 year, or it can be taken in 2 or more years. So that's our MEd. Then secondly, we offer Future Leaders Gateway program, which is designed for teachers at all levels who are seeking or already are in leadership roles, and as well as those who are seeking to develop leadership skills in their educational settings. So there's 3 options within the Gateway program. There's the BGDLM, which is a postgraduate diploma focusing on educational leadership, offered in a range of regional venues across Ireland, and as well as Maynooth University campus. BGDLM is delivered within a blended learning approach, and it's a 12-month program. Second route is our MELM Master's program, which is the 21-month program, and it incorporates the BGDLM. It also uses a blended model with some sessions offered online and some face-to-face at Maynooth University. Thirdly, we have the TMELM, which is only available for students who are graduates of the BGDLM, and this is subject to availability of places, first come, first served basis. There's an information night coming on Monday, 25th of April, I should mention, for the Future Leaders Gateway program, and you are very, very welcome to attend. So send us an email to register for that. A closing date is 18th of June for the Future Leaders program. Then I should also say a few words about our PhD program is open as well for applications. And that also for our PhD applications, we very much welcome candidates to email us prior to applying, because it's very nice to touch base with you before you send in your applications, and we can help you in submitting that application. We also offer 3 other programs, but perhaps because applications for those are not open anymore for this year and are open for 2023 applications. Those are our professional doctorate in education, as well as our professional master of education, which is prepares students for career in teaching in secondary schools, as well as our PG diploma in educational guidance counseling. But those indeed are closed for the time being. So no point in spending more time on those, I suppose. That's it, all in a nutshell. We are here for questions and really looking forward to hearing all prospective students and candidates. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maya. That was a very detailed, great whistle-stop tour of the broad range of programs that the department has on offer, and just keeping an eye on the chat, and I think there's no specific questions for the programs yet, but we encourage participants to think about their questions and let us know if there's any questions. Let's move on in our webinar session, and Bernadette is on my screen the next, so I'd like to ask Bernadette to give us an introduction and a quick overview of the programs and postgraduate courses available at the FRUBA department. Bernadette?
Thank you, Susanna, and thank you for inviting me along this evening. My name is Bernadette Rinn, and I'm the program leader for the Master of Education Research in Practice. And that is the program I actually coordinate myself. And I'll mention 1 or 2 other programs that we have in our department at postgraduate level 9, level 4 students. The Master of Education Research in Practice is focused on action research in education. And this Master of Education is suited to educators working in early childhood settings, in the primary school and in the secondary school. It's also suited to educators who are working in a special education environment also. The Master of Education is a 1-year program for graduates of a B.Ed or a HDip in education, and it is suited to educators across settings because it's designed for them in their practice, and the modules are designed for them to engage with their research within their own settings. So there are 5 compulsory modules across the year for the Master of Education, and these modules are spread across the 2 semesters. There's also a summer school in August starting off, which is a crucial element of the Master of Education because it is a foundational focus on action research methodologies. The Master of Education is also suited to teachers who would like to examine a specific aspect of their own practice. There's a great deal of reflective work involved in the Master of Education, and teachers get to examine an aspect of their practice that they would like to improve on or that they would like to indeed change. The Master of Education is also possible across a 2-year time frame if you have an undergraduate in a BA, and if your credit total isn't enough, you would need to do 8 modules which are compulsory across the 2-year program. There's more information on our website about the Master of Education Research and Practice, and our closing date for that is April 29th. So you still have time to apply for that program. You can contact me, bernadette.rinn@mu.ie, or Rebecca Boyle at the Freville Department Administration Office. So that would be the main components of the Master of Education Research and Practice. And you can contact me at any stage over the next couple of months for any more details. The next program, the Postgraduate Diploma in Inclusive and Special Education, is also designed for educators working in the secondary sector primarily. And this postgraduate diploma is focused on special education within a school setting for teachers who would like to gain an expertise in a particular aspect of inclusive education. Deirdre Ford is the program leader for that program, and she can be contacted also through the Frederick Department Administration team. So that postgraduate diploma in inclusive education is highly regarded, and it is one worth exploring for teachers that are working in specific settings. And they would be the two main postgraduate programs that we would offer for level 9, and for teachers, educators working across the sector who are seeking a master's level or level 9 degree for work in areas of maybe leadership that they'd like to pursue, or areas of curriculum development, or aspects of teacher education that they would like to pursue further. This Master of Education would be suitably placed for candidates that would be interested in those areas. Thank you so much, Susanna.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. That was very interesting and informative. It's interesting to hear how the leadership aspect seems to be a common thread with the education department, and I know that your departments are working closely in any case. So I encourage our attendees as well to contact Bernadette or other members of the team at the department if they have particular queries. So I don't see any new questions in the chat yet. So if our attendees wish to contact the department later with particular questions, you're welcome to do that, or join us at the live Q&A if you feel you thought about your question a bit later. So last but not least, of course, I'd like to ask Camilla to give us an introduction and an overview of the programs on offer in the adult education department. Camilla?
Hi, thanks very much, Susanna. Really happy to be here and talk about the work of the Department of Adult and Community Education. So we're a small department and most of our courses are for postgraduate students. So if you want to teach, but you don't want to work in a school, you don't want to work in a university, but you want to work in any of those spaces in between, ours is the department that you come to. So we deliver initial teacher education for people who work in further education colleges, community settings, prisons, youth reach centres, a really, really wide range of settings where they offer QQI awards. So it's an alternative to the Leaving Cert, it's alternative to university. It's a number of adult awards. Some of you have probably heard of them. So that's what the first program I'll talk about is, that initial teacher education program. It's a level 8 higher diploma in further education, and we run that in a full-time and a part-time option. People who successfully graduate can then register with the Teaching Council via that route 3. So it is different to the courses that you would have heard my colleagues speaking about. It has its own unique registration pathway. Our other postgraduate courses then are for practitioners. So a lot of our students, as with the other departments, are actively working and teaching within higher education spaces at the moment, within further education and adult education spaces at the moment. And they come back into us and do practitioner-led doctoral programs. We also have a master's program, which is very much practitioner-based, and we have a PhD program as well. So if anybody is interested in the PhD and doctorate program in particular, again, we really do ask people to get in touch with us well in advance. I mean, sometimes it can take up to a year to build an application towards a doctoral program, and that's really not unusual. So if you're thinking about it as something down the line, you can never get in touch with us too soon, and we'll talk to you and guide you and help you think about what an application might look like. The master's program is open for applications until May, and the higher diploma in further education is open for applications up until April. And I'm going to leave it there, short and sweet.
Thank you so much, Camilla. It's great to hear that the programs are available on a part-time basis as well, because I'm sure that there are potential applicants here who are interested to hear that there are various modes and options available. thank you so much for the overview.
There was one question.
Yeah.
I might just address that specifically. So Alex, I'm not sure if you're still here, but it might apply to other people. You do need a primary degree to apply to do the higher diploma in further education, but a level 7 degree with 3 years experience in the field is something that we can offer recognition of prior learning for. It's a separate pathway through the university, but it is possible if you have an ordinary degree and experience to do the HDIP in further education. So do get in touch with us. Don't immediately be concerned that because you don't have that level 8, you can't apply. You can.
Thank you, Camilla, for circling back to the question. And indeed, we encourage every applicant to get in touch with the various departments that they're interested in, because we do have the recognition of prior learning process at the university, where we do consider relevant prior learning as an admission criteria in cases where the applicant may not have an honors or an ordinary level 8 degree. Before we open the floor to potential questions, I just wanted to make one quick announcement, or more like call our webinar attendees' attention to it, that we do offer Toastmasters scholarships of up to €2,000. So this is something that as part that applicants can apply for, and this will be done when you can apply for these scholarships at the same time when you're actually making your application for your Toastmasters program. So do keep that in mind when you're making your application. And I think as Camilla, Maya, and Bernadette have really encouraged each and every one of you here to actually get in touch with them if you have specific or particular questions. I don't see any new questions in the chat at the moment, but I suppose I just want to thank our speakers for coming and being with us tonight and taking the time. And again, just encourage our attendees to send us their questions either through these Q&A functions here in the next minute or so, or you can actually join us through the live Q&A through our Pubble function. We will be available until 7 o'clock to answer questions. But if you feel rather that you would take up the conversation with the departmental colleagues, either with Maya, Bernadette, or Camilla, do feel free to contact them. I think they are very open and welcoming to applicants and any queries. Let's see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions at the moment, but so I just wanted to close the webinar then and thank our speakers for being with us today, and our attendees for attending the webinar and your interest in Maynooth, and for considering Maynooth for an application. And if you have any questions, do get in touch with us. Thank you very much.
Just a link for the Q&A for ourselves even. Yeah, I can send you I can send you that. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.